Some empires didn't fall. They vanished right as they were about to win. They stood at the edge of global domination, then crumbled. We remember Rome and Persia. But 5 others came within inches of reshaping the world, only to disappear into history's shadows. This is the story of how the greatest runner-ups changed the world by almost ruling it. Carthage, the empire that could have erased Rome at its height. Carthage wasn't a war machine, it was a business empire. Its ships ruled the Mediterranean, its trade reached from Britain to Africa. While Rome was still squabbling over Italian dirt, Carthage had hydraulic shipyards, artificial harbors, and treasure chests full of silver. Then came Hannibal. At just 9 years old, he swore a blood oath against Rome, and he almost kept it. He marched war elephants through the Alps, outmaneuvered armies twice his size. At Cannae, he pulled off a military move so brilliant, it's still taught in war schools, a double envelopment that surrounded and annihilated a Roman army. Rome teetered, its allies wavered, its nobility sent bushels of rings ripped from the dead. But Carthage made one mistake. Its Senate didn't back Hannibal. They chose profits in Spain over seizing Rome. That hesitation gave Rome time, and Rome never wasted time. They copied Hannibal's tactics, built a navy, and came back with a vengeance. Carthage was wiped from the map, salted, burned, but its innovations, naval tech, trade systems, tactics, became the blueprint for Rome's empire. Carthage almost ruled the world, and in failing, it taught the next empire how to do it. The Khwarazmian Empire, destroyed by one mistake. In the early 1200s, Central Asia's greatest power wasn't China or the Arabs, it was the Khwarazmians. They held the Silk Road. Their cities brimmed with science. They calculated Earth's size within 1% accuracy, while Europe was still bleeding leeches. Then Genghis Khan sent a peaceful trade mission. They beheaded the envoys and humiliated the guards. The Mongols didn't just retaliate. They erased the Khwarazmians. Libraries burned, cities flooded, oases turned to ash. The Sultan died on an island, watching smoke rise from his empire. But, in their destruction, the Khwarazmians seeded the rise of something bigger. The Mongols used their bureaucracy, adopted their trade routes, and expanded west. The empire that nearly ruled Asia was destroyed, but became the scaffolding for one that nearly ruled the world. Sweden, the Protestant superpower, that almost united Europe in the 1600s, Sweden went from frozen backwater to Europe's military superpower. Why? One man, Gustavus Adolphus. He didn't just fight wars, he rewrote them. He created the first modern army, mobile artillery, musket squads, lightning-fast tactics. Swedish forces fired faster, moved quicker, and hit harder. During the 30 Years' War, they crushed the Catholic League, humbled the Holy Roman Empire, and nearly took Vienna. For a moment, it looked like Stockholm, not Paris, would rule Europe. Then Gustavus died in battle. Without him, the Swedish Empire lost momentum. They had the tech, the army, the opportunity, but not the leadership. Yet the ripple effect was massive. Their innovations spread across Europe. Their wars stopped Habsburg domination, and their queen, Christina, later ditched the throne to fund Enlightenment philosophers who would change the world with ideas, not armies. Yuan Dynasty, Kublai Khan's ocean empire. That never set sail. Kublai Khan didn't want more land. He wanted the ocean. By 1281, he built the largest navy in history, over 4,000 ships, 140,000 men. His goal? Make the Pacific a Mongol lake. His ships had watertight compartments, magnetic compasses, and even bomb-launching trebuchets. He planned floating cities to reach Japan, Java, even the Americas. Some historians believe he did reach the Americas centuries before Columbus, but nature said no. Typhoons, called kamikaze or divine winds, twice destroyed his fleets. Kublai died. His successors lost interest. The shipyards decayed. Still, the blueprints survived. His tech spread across Asia. Some maps even found their way to European explorers. He came this close to launching the first global empire by sea. But timing is everything. Ottoman Empire, the sick man's last stand in 1876, Sultan Abdul Hamid inherited a crumbling Ottoman Empire. Europe called it the sick man, but he had other plans. He wired the empire with 30,000 kilometers of telegraph lines, built modern universities, founded shipyards, created railways stretching from Istanbul to the Persian Gulf. He had German-trained armies, modern artillery, and a growing economy. For a brief moment, it looked like the Ottomans would rise again, not as a relic but as a modern empire. But modernization has a cost. The telegraphs that spread control also spread revolution. Young officers turned radical. By 1908, the Sultan's power was clipped. His empire drifted into World War I and lost. Its lands carved up, its dreams dissolved. Yet the modern Middle East still carries Ottoman fingerprints, its governments, borders and conflicts. The empire that almost reinvented itself taught the world how modernization can build or destroy. These empires didn't rule the world, but they reshaped it. Their victories were near misses. Their downfalls weren't failures, they were warnings. Carthaginian ports, Khwarazmian trade routes, Swedish tactics, Yuan navigation, Ottoman systems. They live on in the nations that followed. The real lesson? Power alone isn't enough. Empires rise when timing, ambition, and leadership align, and they fall when they don't. So as today's powers rise, which one will be remembered as the empire that almost ruled the world?